So, good morning, everybody. I hope you are fresh again for the second session of the kickoff meeting. Oops. So that's the agenda for today. This morning is devoted to the practicalities of the project and the management. And I'm very happy to welcome here Anna Santori, who is the project officer from the European Commission for this project. And she will tell us also this morning a little bit about the expectation from the Commission side. So Anna, welcome, and we're looking forward to your presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this kickoff meeting. And my name is Anna Santoro. I'm a PO, project officer at the European Commission. Actually, it's the European Research Executive Agency. And I'm the PO of this project. Should I go? Okay. So I'm a chemist by background. Physical chemist, actually, and I was talking earlier also with Peter. I had an experience at the KIT, actually the Anka Synchrotron facility. So very happy to be the PO of this project. I'm actually accompanied also by other people. You will see during the project lifetime that there is also the financial officer and the legal officer. I will explain later. Congratulations for succeeding, because this is actually a very competitive exercise, and it's always good to get funded by the European Commission. So my presentation is divided in three main parts. The first part is the more technical part. Bear with me. I know it's 9. I hope you all had coffee, because it's a bit the most boring part. Then there are some more horizontal activities, which are extremely important for us. And I will leave you with some extra resources that you can consult afterwards. So as I was saying, the main players in the EU-funded projects are the European Commission, the DG, in this case, is DG RTD, Research and Innovation, who writes the work program. Then the program is delegated to agencies which implement the projects. And then there is the coordinator, the consortium. The main contact point for us is the coordinator, and then the coordinator will contact you and will talk to you. Especially for large consortia, we have as main contact point the coordinator, who also is responsible for the communication with the Commission. You might be familiar with some of these concepts, because this is also the continuation of some of the beneficiaries are already in stories, which is the previous project. But I think it's good for you also to understand the process, because this will be important for you during the lifetime of the project. So the technical part, we have the project monitoring. So you will have during the project some reviews, and these reviews will be based on a technical part, so the work that you are supposed to do, and that it's written in the grant agreement that you have all signed. Then there is the financial part and the other non-financial, and I will explain you later the non-financial part, which are specific for this type of project. And then, why doesn't go? Okay. Here we are. So the project reports. Here you see how it works. You probably are familiar with this screen because you all have access to the portal. And then you have two different types of screening that we do during the project lifetime. There is the continuous one, which are the deliverables that you are bound to submit at each specific time. And then there is the periodic reports. These are two different ones, and I will explain later exactly what it means. Equally important. And you see, you have the project. In particular, for your project, you will have 3 reporting periods. And this is extremely important for you because we release the payments according to the reporting that you submit. And you have 3, I put them at the bottom of the slide. Here, it's what it is, the continuous reporting. So I was saying you have 49 deliverables. In this slide, I just wanted to point out that all your deliverables are public. And this is very good for us because it means that you will, you will publicly show what you have done. But you have to bear in mind that public means that as soon as you submit in the portal, they are published in Cordis. And for this reason, we encourage you to have an extra look at the deliverables before you actually submit them. Regarding the periodic reporting, at each end of the periodic reporting period, you have 60 days to submit the technical part of the report and also the financial part. And you all have to submit the financial part, and then the coordinator, the main coordinator, is the contact point for us. And there are some specificities of the financial report. I will leave you to read. I'm not going through all the details, but just to explain you that this is extremely important to be as precise as possible, because rejection is very common. And during the periodic reporting, we actually make use of external reviewers, so people who are expert in the fields who help us review your project, the technical part. Then we have the financial officer, the legal officer that review the financial part. I was talking earlier about some specific parts of the technical report. This project is based on transnational actions and virtual actions. So you will have to submit also another part of the report, which is related to the action, transnational TNA and VA. These are all concepts that you are probably familiar. The TNA are available to external users. You have to open specific calls to invite researchers. And what I would like to point here is that it's very important that you keep a record of everything that you are doing, because during the lifetime, at least this is our experience, that during the lifetime of the project, things may change. And for us, it's very important to see what was at the beginning and how this has been changing over time, if it changes. These are, I hope you are familiar with these, like these are all the specificities, and we will go and check exactly these points when you submit your report. This is important because these are the regulations that have been put down by the Commission, and they have to be followed rather strictly. On the VA, we have also other specific cases. As you see, they have to comply with the Research and Innovation Access Policy. There is no formal selection process, but you still have to keep a clear record of everything that has been done. And of course, the release of the payment will be done when we have all this material available. Here I would like to point out one thing, that usually we have one iteration process, in the sense that you submit your technical financial reports and the transnational access report, and then we check it. And if there are some problems, we send it back, and it's only one iteration. And then we either suspend the payment or we pay only for the things that has been done. So just to make sure that it's very rare that we go for a second iteration. This is the process, but I think all the, later we leave a slide with all the documents that you can consult to see what is eligible and what is not eligible. I put it here because this is actually one of the reasons why we always block the payments. And I stress this because I think this is extremely important for you. Now, the financial management, some advice here is to keep the record. I already said that. Also the record of the meetings, like the kickoff meetings, or all the record, the meetings that you will have along the lifetime of the project. If there is an overspend, which can happen, or you have to move around some part of the budget, always inform us, because if we receive then the financial statements with some changes, it takes a long time, and we are also bound by a special time frame. The unhappy past, I'm sure this will not concern you, but just to let you know that this can happen. In case there are some irregularities, there can be the reduction of the grant. We have had that. Suspension of the payment, and this is a long process, so I'm sure you don't want to go towards that path, or in extreme cases, the termination. But I put it there just because this is something that indeed can happen. And this slide is extremely important because you might be aware that the EU-funded projects are regularly audited by the European Court of Auditors. And we have internal audits, but also the European Court of Auditors, that's a body of the European Union that carries out audits for the European Commission. And for this reason, you have to keep everything for at least 5 years after also the end of the project, and all the records, financial and technical. That means also all the people who are working for the projects, all the details that concern also the people working for the project. The amendments, this is something that you have the right to change some parts of the grant agreement. We know that, especially for long projects like this one, there can be some changes along the lifetime of the project, and so you can make some changes. The changes, they don't have to be too big, because we always look at what you sign at the beginning, but we understand there might be some changes. There are some things that you can change without an amendment, like budget transfer, and things that you have to change through an amendment. An amendment is a long process, so bear in mind that if you have a few changes, maybe pack them together, because then it goes through me, through the legal officer, the financial officer, and a lot of other people are involved in the process. Now, the most interesting part, I would say, this was the technical part, but now we have some horizontal activities which are extremely important for us. Now, you might know that the Horizon Europe, the work program, Research and Innovation work program, is an impact-driven work program. From the inception, when the work program was written, also every time that the work program comes out, and the implementation, and also through the evaluation. What does that mean? It means that there are some impact, scientific, societal, economic, and technological, that we look at during the project lifetime. There are some different aspects that we look at. In this specific case, I expect the technical part to be extremely important, but bear in mind that we also look at what is the impact on the society, and also on the technical aspect, economic aspect of future techniques. The first part that you have is a tab in the system where you report on the impact questionnaire, and this is you have 3 different parts: the continuation, beneficiary feedback, and the main part of the impact. And why I mention this is because we look at that part, and we are constantly asked by the European Commission, our policy DG, research and innovation, and other DGs on the impact of the projects. And this is important because this feeds into the next work program, so what will be funded in future. The other very important part is the dissemination and exploitation of your results. The dissemination plan is actually mandatory in Horizon Europe projects, and I've seen that you have a well prepared dissemination exploitation plan, and it's something that we look at because indeed your funding is European funding. It means that it's European citizen taxpayers that are paying for the project, and we need to report back. And this is also done through dissemination of your results. Might be easier for some projects that are more closer to society, but this is actually about energy, and I think it's an extremely important and in this period. So we strongly encourage to disseminate as much as possible. When you disseminate, the EU logo has to be there because we like it. No, actually it is mandatory. And in the past, in Horizon 2020, there was the mandatory requirement, or the requirement to put also the numbering and everything that was related to the project. But since Horizon Europe, we simplified the process, and you just have to put the logo, which I think it looks good when you show around that you have been funded by the European Commission. Since it's a very complicated process and also competitive, I think it's rewarding. The other part that I wanted to mention is another tab in Sigma that you can all fill out, and especially the project coordinator. It's about the results. These are very short sentences about your results. And why it's important? Because we actually go and look at, we look at this part to extract the important information coming up from the project, the results that we can feed into the policy making, into the next work program. And here I repeat, because we constantly go for the feedback, policy feedback. We are asked by the different policy DGs how these projects are performing, to put them in a wider context. And so if we have like a very impactful short sentence there, that would be, it's much better for us than going through all the deliverables. So pay attention to this. It's actually very important to make your project more impactful vis-a-vis the policymakers. Here, there are some tools. You may be familiar with some of them, but I encourage you to have a look at all of them because they are important for the communication side of your project. You might be familiar with Cordis because the project is already there, a summary of the project, and all the European funded projects are there. But then we also have the Horizon dashboard and the platform, Horizon Results platform. They are for you to see also the other projects that might be in the same field. It's like a platform with all the EU funded projects. But I would like to point your attention to Innovation Radar and Horizon Impact Awards. These are two tools important. The Innovation Radar is a platform where you have all these projects that have a potential of being innovators. And Horizon Impact Award is awards that can be done for some very impactful project, European funded project. But you can have a look when you have time. I think they are interesting platform. How can we help you? We can help in different ways. If we know that you are succeeding, because I have a lot of projects, I have to say, and they are all extremely good. So I of course, I keep an eye, but if you reach out to us saying, okay, we have done this, we have done that, and this is really good, we can post it on our internet pages, and this resonate to a wider audience, because something is to do it on the project website, something is to do on the European Commission website. So it can be helpful. Of course, I need to know that, so let's keep a very open line of communication. I wanted to mention a few other things here that are important. The open science, I'm sure you're familiar with that. I've seen in the project, and this is a very important and necessary for us, because this is a requirement of Horizon Europe. Everything should be open and reachable by other scientists and by the wider public. And there are a few aspects there to consider, especially the EOSC platform, which is now something that the Commission is looking at very carefully. To bear in mind, but I have seen that already everything is public, and just for you to remind that this is a requirement of the Horizon Europe funded project. Here I don't know if you're familiar with this platform, but it's actually relatively new. It's Open Research Europe. It's a possibility that the European Commission gives to the beneficiaries of European funded project to publish results before being without actually being reviewed immediately. So you can publish, and everyone can look at them, and then you have the possibility to publish. There is a review process, and you have the possibility to publish the results in different journals with a higher impact factor. Why I'm saying that? Because sometimes projects are very impactful. So you say, okay, I can publish immediately these results on a very high impact factor journal, sometimes not. So you might want to make them public and see that the work has been done. And this is a possibility free of charge, by the way, that is given by the Commission. So I encourage you to have a look at it. And it's actually a powerful tool, platform that you can use for publishing your result. Ethics, very short mention of this. This is important. I have seen that your project has been cleared, but this is also a requirement of the funded project, of the European funded project. So I wanted to mention that. But your project has been cleared at the evaluation process. It means that you don't have to provide any justification on the ethics, but I would like to encourage you to always keep an eye on this, because we are constantly reviewing the projects, and it's an important point for the policymaker. So if you see that there is anything that could trigger the ethics requirement, please inform us. I think this is the last one, the last slide, or there is another one, and then I will leave you free. It's important again, because it's the policy feedback. I mentioned that earlier, but at the end, your results and the outcomes of these projects will feed into the policy making process. So the new work program, what the policymakers will decide for the next funding. The Horizon Europe has as a mandatory point the production of policy briefs, and I've seen that you have planned some policy briefs, and here are some examples of what you could put inside. Of course, you are free, but bear in mind that it has to be simple, not too technical, because policymakers are very often not technical people. This is something that I encourage you to look at carefully, because indeed, if they have something simple to look at, they will have really a good overview of what your project is about. And that's good, for a possible continuation of the project. Most common omission, very quickly, just to remind you what we look at, the communication dissemination. If you have changes in the work plan and the budget, please contact us. And the same about deliverables and reports, financial reporting. And the last one is the one that I like the most, because it's the grants as a rule are not extended, because this is something that we are asked all the time. We know that the the project may have issues, and this was the case, for instance, in 2020 with the COVID pandemic. We had to extend all the project, but you will understand that if we extend all the projects and then we have new projects coming in, it becomes an unmanageable bunch of projects that we have. So projects are not extended as a rule, unless there are cases of force majeure, what we call force majeure, so like pandemic and war. But in this specific case, we hope that there won't be any of these issues. I wanted to mention this because for us, it's a very important. Extra resources for you, just a few links here. You can have a look when you have time. And I hope this was useful. Thank you for your attention. And I wish you a lot of success with your project.
Thank you, Anna. I would say, as we have the chance that you are here, so if there are questions to the European Commission, to the procedures, I actually stepped over one issue. You mentioned only one iteration for the reporting, because in earlier projects or periods, it was like it was a kind of rejection, resubmission, several times, multiple step process. This is only once now.
Yes, I mean, we have been advised to have only one because indeed the process was becoming too long. So now we have one iteration process, unless there are some specific cases. I will say for the final one, you have multiple iteration, but for the middle ones, if there are some complication, we just take away the part that we think is not it misses something, and then we take away that part of the payment. Yeah, this is something that it's new, and especially for the research infrastructure, we are actually in internally, we have this system.
Other questions to these practical informations? Seems very clear, and we have your slides.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Anna. So, okay. According to the agenda, it's me again with a short overview about the project. And we had a lot of slides already yesterday, so I go through it very briefly. Is anyone here who has not attended yesterday afternoon? So I can skip these slides or pass it very briefly. So to remind you, we have a fairly large project with 68 participants. And I explained you yesterday how this is set up. But with this large group, we are covering the 10 thematic areas of renewable energy technologies. We had then the infrastructures related to these areas presented yesterday. And also we briefly described the objectives of the project. To mention is the objective number one is the overarching objective to enable research and innovation, and that we do by providing the transnational access, but also setting up the ecosystem. And the tools we have to do this is one, the transnational accesses and the virtual accesses, but also providing cross research infrastructure services, especially related to data management. We have seen this as an example of materials development with a materials acceleration platforms, which is a quite large activity and still distributed. So we see what we can contribute there and also help focusing these attempts. Also, then we have the education and training activities, not only for facilitating the access to the research infrastructures, enabling everybody who wants to use it also to do so, but also consulting the various political levels. And we have heard this morning also short communication tools from the European Commission are set in place from that side to support the dissemination. And at the end, yeah, we would like to establish an ecosystem and become a kind of community which is visible and has something to contribute to the field in the future. What is called like here a European reference organization. These objectives, they are interlinked, and we also have then the external supporters, external experts helping us, especially in the selection of the transnational and virtual access proposals. And then we have external facilities, an external layer and advisory board that guides us also on all the aspects of innovation, more efficient use of our activities, the accesses, but also developing this ecosystem. So here again, in brief, I think what Anna pointed out with legal obligation, that basically relates to the 17 full participants, which are in charge actually to deliver the input into the tools as the contractors or the ones who have accessed the contract with the European Commission. But we have also partners who have affiliated entities, and we have subcontractors, and then the obligation is going through that beneficiary. Here again, we have the external layer. These are external experts for selecting advisory board and stakeholders to provide general input. The management structure in the project is so we have, of course, the General Assembly, which this meeting is the first meeting of the General Assembly, composed of all full participants. The 17th, we have a steering committee, which is taking care on the daily management together with a coordinator. It's basically the work package managers and the representative of the 10 thematic areas. And here you see the links to the external layers. And as mentioned before, the European Commission, the contact is actually going on the day-to-day basis via the coordinator. And also, we are happy that the General Assembly is, of course, the decision-making body and then linked contractually to that. So this is another representation where we actually link now the objectives to the work package activities. And the objective of this meeting is actually to get a little bit more insight into what is happening in the work packages. We have work package 1, which is building up the ecosystem led by ERA, and it contributes to the objectives 3 and 6, the ecosystem and being a reference organization. We have the work package 2, which is the core of the project, I would say, also with the most budget, facilitating and managing the transnational and virtual accesses. Especially, we have this special objective 2. We also have a proactive innovation management, which should support actually making links to users of the infrastructures, potential users, and the infrastructure providers. This is also then translating demands from the stakeholders into technical projects. So it contributes to objective 1 and 5, being a unique entry point actually, and also defining and helping with training activities in that respect. And we have identified areas, especially like data management, accelerated materials development, and information and communication technologies for the data exchange as cross-cutting services, which should also help building up this ecosystem. And then we have, of course, a management work package, which deals with all the practical aspects, running the project and taking care on deliverables and reporting. So here are the responsible persons. Era, Monica is responsible for work package 1, building up the ecosystem. Olga from KIT is managing the work package 2, the transnational and virtual accesses. The cross-cutting services, the work package 3 is managed by Michael from Ireland, UCC, and work package 4, the proactive innovation management, is managed by Venizelos from Cyprus. And work package 5, the management is again with KIT, led by Miriam. So with this, I think my overview of the project is finished, and I would suggest we proceed now with the details of the work packages, unless you have any questions to that part right now. Anything clear? Seems so. That's good. Then I hand over to you, Monica.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Monica de Juan. I work for ERA, and I'm the work package 1 leader, but also the contact point of our 22 affiliated entities. In this presentation, I will present very briefly the main objectives and tasks of the work package 1, which is to build an energy research research infrastructure ecosystem. So here you have the main objectives of these work packages. As commented before, this work package is to establish an inclusive ecosystem, and to do so, we are gathering all relevant experts that will support the activities and work packages of the project. So we are going to facilitate the discussions and provide feedback on the various activities of the project. But we are going to also facilitate the exchange of best practices and lessons learned from other relevant initiatives and projects related to research infrastructure. This is going to be task 1.2. We are going to also analyze the technological and research gaps from different roadmaps, relevant documents, providing the ground in order to address the challenges of the energy transition. And we are going to evaluate the potential new S3s, research infrastructures in the energy sector, paying attention to the renewable energy. Here you have the structure of this work package. Is comprised of 5 tasks. The first one is related to building this ecosystem of research infrastructures. ERA is going to be the lead of this task. Task 1.2 is going to be this exchange of best practices of the different networks and initiatives and projects. Task 1.3 is the coordination with the relevant initiatives like the SET plan and other EU and international initiatives. 1.4 is the activity of the gap analysis in order to accelerate the technologies and innovation. And the last one is related to analyze the landscape for additional S3 initiatives. Here you have the Gantt of this work package. I will not enter into the details of all actions that we need to do, but I will highlight that in the first year, we're going to create 2 different deliverables, one related to task 1.1, which is the working plan for the different experts groups. And the second one, which is more related to the terms of collaboration with those EU and international initiatives. So those graphs were presented before. Work package 1 is the creation of this ecosystem in order to support other work packages. So they are in the interdependencies with all of them. Regarding the task 1.1, which is, as already said before, building the ecosystem, ERA is going to be the task leader with the support of other participants, but we are going to count also with other external experts. So we are going to, the main objective of this task is to bring those experts into the consortium, and those could be, for example, the representatives of key EU and international initiatives that define priorities and produce relevant documents. And this feedback will feed the task 1.4 in defining the future research needs in order to address the challenges of the green transition. They will also participate in the activities of the task 1.3. We are going to support also work package 2 in order to create and to enlarge the selection panel to evaluate the proposals received in work package 2. But also we are going to engage networks of infrastructures in order to reinforce the activities of task 1.2 and 1.5. So the main outcomes of this task is the establishment of this ecosystem in order to facilitate the work of other activities. We are going to support them in the identification and connection with those experts, and we are also facilitate the organization of relevant workshops and events in which those experts will participate. We are expecting to have the first deliverable in the first year. I mean, the 1.1.1, which is a working plan for the experts groups. We don't have milestones in the first year. And of course, we will have several workshops and events, but we are going to define those with other tasks and work packages leaders. Here you have the details of the activities of the task 1.1. I'm not going to explain all the activities we are planning for the first year. I will say that we are starting having meetings with all task leaders and work package leaders in order to define which kind of activities we need to do in the future, if we need to organize workshops, surveys, which kind of expertise is needed for their work. And then we will establish a protocol in order to recruit those experts. As commented before, there will be the deliverable 1.1, which is the working plan for the experts group. Regarding task 1.2, which is the exchanging of best practices with other research infrastructure networks, here the task leader is CNR, Monica Fabricio, and they will have the support of other participants that are included in this slide. So the objective of this task is to identify pitfalls and to share best practices and lessons learned from other initiatives, networks, and projects. So this analysis will be provided to task 1.5 in order to analyze future S3 infrastructure. So this task will contribute to enhance and improve the experiences of infrastructure hosts, users, and operators. The main outcomes of these tasks are the interviews with these internal and external research infrastructure providers and a comprehensive overview of the best practices for effective transnational access to those research infrastructures. In here, there is no deliverable foreseen for year one, no milestone, and we'll have several events and workshops with the participants of other research and infrastructure networks. Task 1.1 will support in this kind of activities. So here you have the Gantt of task 1.2. First of all, we are going to develop the preliminary activities. We will start identifying the stakeholders, the research research infrastructure providers and users. And we will start preparing a questionnaire for all of them. Task 1.3, which is the coordination with the set plan with EU and international initiatives. ERA is leading this task. If you read the grant agreement, this task is quite similar to task 1.1. The difference is that we are not going to only receive feedback from these representatives and stakeholders, but we are going to provide feedback to them in order to influence their work, in order to influence their roadmaps and implementation plans. So those representatives are, for example, the EU missions, the partnerships. We are going to target also the member states and associated countries that are inside the implementation working groups of the set plan. Those are defining the research priorities of the future. They are defining the future goals of the work programs. And of course, we are going to target also the different ETIPs. So we are going to establish these connections with those stakeholders in order to receive feedback from their side, but also to influence their work, in order to align priorities and in order to influence their goals. So the main outcome of this task is the terms of collaboration with these EU and international initiatives. We have one deliverable which is the main outcome of this task in month 9, if I'm not wrong, but we don't have an associated milestone, and we don't foresee a workshop or an event with this initiative, with these initiatives in the year 1. Here you have the Gantt of this task. We are going to start the work analyzing all the pertinent initiatives for the purposes of the task 1.4. Task 1.4 is related to the support for this research infrastructure services gap analysis for accelerating the technologies and innovation. Here, the lead is ENEA with the collaboration of other organizations. So, as commented before, we are going to conduct an analysis of technological and research gaps from different roadmaps, documents, in order to address the challenges of the green transition. So the main outcomes of this task is the identification of scientific instruments, tools, methods, and strategies of research to enable innovation solutions. And of course, the definition of future research pathways in order to address those challenges. And there is no deliverable milestone or workshop foreseen for the first year of the project. Here you have also the Gantt of this task. We will start, of course, with the preparatory actions, like the literature review of all those scientific documents, European projects, and deliverables and relevant documents. And finally, task 1.5, which is the analysis of the landscape for additional S3 initiatives. Here, the task leader is Excel, with the support of other organizations participating in the project, but also they will reach out the S3 Strategy Working Group on Energy, the ERIC Forum, of course, the member states and associated countries representatives, especially those involved in the set plan implementation working groups, and the research community that is in the corresponding ETIC. As commented before, they are going to conduct a landscape analysis to consider future S3 research infrastructure in the energy area. So the main outcomes will be the assessment of the implementation of existing energy research infrastructure, identify new important research infrastructure and research demonstrator of interest in the energy area, potential implementation schemes of research infrastructure specific to the energy domain, and guidance to plan their implementation as an effort. And here there is no deliverable for first year, no milestone, and we will prepare we will organize some workshops and events together with task 1.2, task 1.3, and task 1.4 in order to gain this knowledge needed for this task. Here you have the Gantt of this task. When we will start having some meetings next week with us, that's 1.1, and then it will be followed with all work package 1 participants to start planning all the activities related to this task. And that's all from my side. If you have any questions related to work package 1.
Thank you, Monica. So are there any questions to this part?
Something
comment.
not relevant to WIP 1. I don't know if it's possible to remove the flags from there. They cover half of the screen. I mean, the physical flags, not in the people.
Oh. Hey,
No. Let's put it here. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
For the Spiridon.
Okay.
Fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, we would have moved this the row to the middle. Okay. Yeah, then we proceed, going to the next work package, the most heaviest one in this project. So please, Olga.
Yeah, so morning, everybody. So let's start to talk about the transnational and virtual access in our project. So we have whole package for it. And our objective, I think, is obvious to all of you. It's to provide the access and to work on the access. It means to prepare it, to carry it, and to finalize it, and to pay the money for it. So that's what we will deal with in this task, in this work package. There are some rules from the Commission that we have to obey, of course, and that's also what we will focus on in this work package, that we take care of it as well. So in the work package, we have 4 tasks. The first one is management and administration of the transnational access. The second, provision of the transnational access. The third one, statistical analysis of the transnational access. So as you can see, that is transnational access in task 2.1 to 2.3. The last task is management administration of virtual access. And here is also the leader different is AIT. So this task considers only virtual access. That's the structure. Now, I will not go task for task because I think it makes no sense in our case. I will just start with Gantt chart for the whole work package. And as you can see here, I think I have a pointer somewhere here. Yeah. We have a lot of things to do at the beginning of the project till the month 7. We have 4 deliverables, we have 2 milestones, and we have to prepare it all. The deliverables, they include the information on transnational actions, all the governances, all the regulations, everything what's important, that for everybody, everything is clear how it's supposed to work. And the same we have also for virtual access. After that, we will have calls. The first call in month 7 is September this year. And after that, every 6 months, we will open new call. It makes together 7 calls. Am I right? Yeah, 7. In between, in months 18, 36, and 54, let's say, we have some reports on what's happening, how many accesses we had, how much money we spent, and so on. And of course, at the end, we will have to finalize all the documentation that have everything clear and without any iterations to be given to the commission. So we go on. You see it again, Gantt chart for the whole work package, but this time for only the first year. And it's there are a little bit more points. Of course, we have again all those deliverables that we have to prepare, the milestones, but in between there are some white points. We have, for example, ratification of selection panel that we have to do today. Selection panel are those experts that will evaluate the proposals, and we have to agree that the list that we have is okay for all of you. We talked about this already in proposal phase. We had this list online, hidden on one of the ERA web pages. So everything is there. You were informed. We will have also in next month 2 info meetings with RI providers. You didn't get any invitation now because we wanted to start with it today. We will, of course, have to prepare the web page with the research infrastructure overview, where we will put all the information on your research infrastructure and where can they be accessed and how, for how long, and so on, with the contact points that every user can just have a look, potential user can have a look and decide, yes, that fits to me. Yeah, I will ask this person first and check if it will fit with the infrastructure. What we have to do also, we have some subcontractors to KIT. And you remember maybe that we said every subcontractor will get 8,000 euros just to be able to put the work, to make the work that we need here. And they have to work as well because they have to prepare the documentation of the infrastructure. They have to be in touch with us all the time. They have to work on the web page. They have to check the governances if they fit to the infrastructure, or shall we deal with it in a bit different way. This all will be done also this year. After the call is open, in the month 7, it's here, probably for 3 months. We will have to, of course, evaluate the proposals, and the process have 2 steps. We will do pre-screening with infrastructure providers if the experiments that were presented, proposed are possible. And after that, we have also evaluation with the selection panel. So this all will happen this year, and we hope, I'm not sure, depends on how good we are, we will be able to have the first accesses maybe in February next year or in March. That would be my aim is March, but maybe February will be also possible. Okay. To deal with it all, to prepare it all, of course, we need to talk to each other. It's nothing what I can do by myself or what coordination team can do. So we will have to talk with work package 1. We have a meeting already on Monday with Monica to talk about the experts, about how to deal with the calls as well, how to prepare the discussion with the rest of you. We will talk with work package 2, 3, and 4 on the data that we receive but also how to maybe how to do the innovation support here. That's something that will come probably April. And we have, of course, work package 5. What's crucial for us? We will need a web page with the, of course, the overview of the infrastructures, but with keywords, research area localization, and so on. It has to be done very well. And we will need some kind of application system from TA so that people can apply through the web page. And the dissemination and outreach, what's also necessary. We will have to post a lot through LinkedIn, I think. I'm not sure if we will go to X. We will decide on this in steering committee meetings. Okay, the next point. So that's how the access will work, or the process of the access. First of all, as I mentioned, we'll have a call that will, for the first call, we plan, let's say 2-3 months to be open. And of course, we will have to prepare before the web page, governances, templates, and so on. And after that, if the call is closed, we will do the press screening with the providers so that we are clear that the proposed experiments can be carried out. And that's why we will have to talk. And again, we will have a selection panel of transnational access proposals that they will evaluate it and check how it works. The idea would be to have 3 evaluators for every proposal, at least. After that, we will have access or rejection. The rejection will have to be justified. That's why we need at least 3 evaluators, I think, with some comments why something should be rejected. And after that, we will have the analysis of the reports that we will receive, and we'll cover the cost. We will deliver support during the whole process to the research infrastructure providers and to the users. If they have questions, they will be able to contact us, say, okay, maybe we have this, we accepted some access, but it has to be postponed maybe because of some reasons. We know it from stories, and we know that the world is not ideal and there are some adjustments always necessary. So that's what you saw, what's transnational access. In virtual access, task 2.4, it looks a little bit different. We skip the step of selection panel evaluation. This virtual access has to be very smooth, easygoing, but still we need some reporting. Anna said it, that we need to know what happened and for what we should supposed to pay, where the cost went. So that's important here. This is everything here in hands of Thomas. He will deal with it. He has a lot of experience with virtual access, and I'm sure it will work very smooth. But now I think it's important to go to the very important step. It's about the costs. You know that we propose something in proposal phase that KIT keeps the money for the access, as we cannot assume where the users will go. We also had to cut a lot the units you offer to us. If we accepted all the units amount with the money you offer to us, we would be over 20 million euros. And the maximal budget was 14.5. That's why I got many emails why we have so little money in our budget. It's because of this. We had to cut all the units in a way that we stay below the 14.5 millions. And we also had to consider which should be cut and how much, but it all plays minor role because really it depends on what the users will need. We could leave a lot of money, for example, at KIT, but no one will come here. KIT would not receive the money. That's the point. So everything depends on you and depends on users where the money will go. But first, on the slide you see two points. One is the user costs, because the users, they also have to travel, they need money, and the research infrastructure costs. So at KIT budget, in other costs, we have 425,000 euros for traveling. And traveling means traveling, housing, per diem rates. We know it from stories that you need some kind of justification why you pay so much money, why you have some rules. You need some rules to be obeyed. And in storage project, we used KIT traveling rules. For example, it's second class of flight and train, cost limits for hotels, and per diem rates. So this one we would also like to use. We will discuss, of course, about this. And we will publish it online and in deliverable 2.3. So that's that's what we will also discuss during the next 7 months. The second point is the cost of infrastructures. And we have infrastructures from full participants, affiliated entities to full participants, and subcontractors, KIT, AIT, IMEC, and UCC. And this all has to be paid in a different manner. Of course, the full participants, they get it covered directly in periodic payment. The same affiliated entities to full participants. And in case of subcontractors, the KIT, AIT, IMEC, and so on, we also get it paid and transferred to subcontractors in periodic payment. But what I have to say here, of course, some exceptions are possible. We have the money on a trust account. We can transfer it earlier, but we would like to avoid doing it every month because our financing department would kill us for that. So we really prefer to have some system for it. The exceptions are possible if a small organization has an access, for example, of twice 3 months of access and costs of 60,000, 70,000 euros and cannot wait the next 18 months. That is the issue. Still, the first payments would be in month 18. If you see month 7, we open the call. It's open till month 9 or 10. After that, you have evaluation phase, 2 months. So month 12, maybe, we can have the first access. The access finished. Month 18 is perfect to cover the first cost. That's how we would like to proceed. How we will pay the research infrastructure costs. We will use those tables, of course. So I will not go into detail here. We will have time for it during the meetings that you will be invited to. But just one issue maybe. You were able to declare your costs as unit costs. And here the issue is quite straightforward and simple. You use the number G. This is unit cost charged to the project times number of units. It's quite straightforward, easy to calculate. In actual cost, it's a little bit more complicated. We have to keep all the records. So if you have an access, and I will repeat it again and again, you have an access, we have to be able to see it in your documentation of your organization. So the personal costs, the things to buy, and so on. Everything has to be there for any audit and so on. We will not check it, but it can be checked in the future. So keep it, please, there. And the last thing, as we notice, it's very complicated. It's something new to most of you. We will have 2 info meetings for the providers of the infrastructures. And I will send you invitations. There will be 2 meetings, but it will be the same meetings. It means you will see the same slides and we will repeat the same information. Probably the questions will be also similar. We decided to make it twice so that everyone can participate. If any of your dates do not fit, let me know. We can do something separate. If you want, and it's important, you will get invitation for Teams. Please accept it if you're going to join so that I get the message how many people will join. If you would like to have someone from your financial department or from the infrastructure directly, do the same. Let me know. I will invite the people and I will get the notice that they will join or they will not reject, so that we are sure that everybody can fit into the room of the Teams room. So that is important thing. I have received many emails from you in the last few months. I try to give you answers for every questions. I would really ask you just to wait till the 4th of April now. I think I have one question more that I have to answer. So this one I will send the answer to University of Evora, I think. But still, please wait. If you cannot wait, of course, you write me. But if you can wait, then please, let's do it in April. And then if you have other questions, then we will go on via emails on or bilateral discussions. And yeah, I think that's everything from my side. If I have time, I can answer a few questions, but no. Peter, do I have time?
Yeah. Thank you, Olga. And yes, you left some time for questions. That's good. So there will be the info meeting, but we take also questions now. Brian.
Thank you. Just a quick one for non-EU participants, submitting an accepted project. Is the process, would they deal directly with their TARI, or is there a like one of you coordinators should we deal with, or?
If you are not from EU, you can also apply to access. You know, there's a normal procedure. It's for us, we have a limit of 20% of units that we can offer to the members that are not from EU. But the procedure is the same. And we know it from stories that it works the best. If you find an infrastructure that you would like to visit, that you contact it and ask directly, oh, okay, would it be possible to this? And if they say yes, then we skip one step already, you know, the evaluation is faster, and we don't have to go into details and ask and discuss it during the evaluation, but it's already done.
Got it.
That would be the idea. And you cannot be rejected then by the infrastructure.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Other points to be clarified?
Maybe
Burning
one point
questions?
more.
Olga.
If you're going to visit an infrastructure in EU and you are not EU, we will not be able to pay for the visa or something like this. That's I'm not. I think it's the same still. It was in 2020 in the storage project, and I think it stayed the same. So we are not paying for visa. We can cover only related traveling costs. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Just a comment related to the first call that we are going to open. We have been, as CNR, we have been in similar projects like Marinet 1, Marinet 2, etc. Our experience is that to be effective, the first call should be open to topics that are somehow have been already asked for directly to the RA providers. I mean, I think we all have been already disseminating this project. We already received some questions, can we do this, can we do that? So probably we should make a survey around us to see which are the most relevant, most urgent requests for access, and then keep track of this for deciding which will be the first call, just to be more effective at the beginning.
That's something that we have to discuss as well, as we know we have different fields, you know. But that's one of the approaches that I think is correct, just to check what is needed now. But we will discuss it in April, May. Yeah.
Okay. Michael?
Yeah, just one suggestion I thought of there, that in many cases, people will be familiar with the research infrastructures in their own countries. And of course, the transnational access projects have to be transnational. So it would be a good idea for us maybe to put together a matrix. So for certain types of research infrastructures on a country by country basis, what other research infrastructures maybe in a different country they could access. So they say, I'm familiar with this research infrastructure in Germany, but I'm based in Germany. So, you know, in what other countries do you have a similar research infrastructure that could serve my TA offering?
That's what we want to do on the webpage.
Okay.
So that you can just make a click. I cannot go to this country, but I can do the rest.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Unless there's no urgent question. Okay, there's a question online. We get it. Not all research infrastructure will be open at each call. There will be a selection of topics.
All infrastructure are open for all calls. If they have no problems or they're just changing the instrumentalization, it just cannot have access. But they will always be open. You can always apply for them. That's the point. If you get the access, another thing. there will be a selection of topics. That's something that we will discuss now in the next few months. If we want to have topics for the call for every area, or shall we leave it open? We will discuss it. And I think we will discuss it with work package 1 the most. Will be involved in it. Yeah.
I think that question is answered. Anything else? Then thank you, Olga, again. Now we come to work package 3. Michael.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Hayes. Just for the benefit of those who weren't here yesterday, I'm the ICT thematic leader, and I'm also the leader of Work Package 3, and that will be self-evident from the slides here why I'm doing this. I should also mention that Work Package 3 covers quite a diverse range of topics, so we are very much reliant on the leaders of each of the tasks listed here as well. So collaboration between these task leaders in meeting the objectives of the work package will be critical for the success of this work package. Okay, so what are the objectives of Work Package 3? So Work Package 3 is really all about creating cross-research infrastructure services and support to progress the TRL of renewable energy systems, fostering collaboration across various disciplines and across various stakeholder groups. It is very much interlinked to the other core work packages 2, 4, and 5. So this means identifying what we call ICT enabling technologies. It comprises of offering a framework for digital services, systems, and digital twins. It involves the creation of metadata services along the entire value chain, from the materials and devices all the way up to the systems, to help people understand what's the most suitable metadata schema, and also provides a decision-making support framework, bringing in things like sustainability KPIs and things like socio-technical aspects, recommendations for future research exploration, based on the various technologies we have and the benchmarks associated with each one of these technologies. So as you can see, quite a broad range of topics there, both technical and non-technical. Okay. So we have 4 tasks in Work Package 3. The first one is led by ourselves in UCC, which is ICT-enabled renewable energy systems. It revolves around what I talked about yesterday under the ICT team, the value proposition of retrofitting wireless sensors on, in, or near equipment and in infrastructure. Task 3.2 revolves around creating a framework for digital services and digital twins. It's led by CMAT. Task 3.3 relates to metadata service along the value chain. It's led by CEA. And finally, task 3.4 is about decision-making for sustainability and socio-technical aspects, and that's led by KIT. So let's give you an overview of the effort associated with this, and then we'll go into a bit more detail regarding each one of these tasks. This wasn't asked for in the slide template, but I thought it would be useful just to give people a feeling for how much effort is being put in by various partners involved in this. As you can see, KIT and UCC are the 2 big players. There's CMAT as well. And you can see why we are leading various tasks, and then SAJ and DTU are the other big participants, with significant input from 4 or 5 other partners. So a significant amount of work being done, scattered across 8 or 9 partners. But ultimately, everybody needs to be involved in this task. We cannot do it without the help of all partners. But this is where the leadership is coming from. Okay, so let's start with, I guess, the main activity for me, and you've heard me talk about this yesterday, the value proposition of retrofitting wireless sensors on, in, or near equipment and infrastructure. So that's been led by us, and we have AIT and EPL involved in this task. A lot of the description detail here, just at the overview here is that we want to look at identifying what are the ICT enabling technologies across various renewable energy fields, whereby we can retrofit these wireless sensors to do two things primarily: condition and energy efficiency monitoring of the equipment. So how well is it operating, either at developmental stage or operational stage? And then there's also the value proposition of improving the interoperability between various components and indeed across an entire energy demand management system. So optimizing the interoperability so that we optimize the performance of these with things like context awareness. Now, as I mentioned yesterday in my opening comments, one of the big impediments for this value proposition of retrofitting wireless sensors is the battery life associated with these wireless sensors. They're very often installed in remote, difficult to access areas, have a small, tiny battery that's going to be difficult for us to get to. So a lot of our activities is going to be, rather than retrospectively trying to solve the battery life problem, is identify it up front. So identify what can we do to minimize the power consumption of these wireless sensors. Are there ambient energies, like heat, vibration, solar energy available for us to act as a supplement to make that battery last maybe 10 or 20 years instead of 1 or 2 years, as we are experiencing at the moment. So a lot of the TAs will actually revolve around this, not just understanding what value do the sensors bring, but how do we ensure that these sensors are going to operate long term in a reliable manner across the project. Okay, and we also believe that the value proposition will also attract TAs and VAs in work package too. So we expect to see quite a lot of activity for more package to revolve around not just the retrofitting of sensors, but the battery life, solving the battery life problem. No deliverables, no milestones, no events in year one. But anecdotally, I can tell you when we start to put together our matrix of dissemination activities, you will see plenty of activities whereby we'll be promoting this project. So, for example, we're running a wireless sensor network energy harvesting conference in Italy in June, and we'll certainly be promoting the access offering here when it becomes available. And we expect to see a lot of interest from both academic and industry people at that event. Okay, on to task 3.2. So this is the framework for digital services and digital twins. It's led by CMAT, and you can see there are about 6 other partners involved in supporting them in this task. This is all about establishing open science processes and methodical frameworks to ensure the quality and the maturity of the data that we create. We must ensure that we adopt fair principles. We must ensure that we provide a centralized service for integrating the various artifacts and applying these fair practices. We must also ensure that the metadata and the ontologies that we use will be synergized, and a first generation recommendation model will be included in the metadata marketplace. One deliverable due in month 12. So this is deliverable 3.1. So this is going to be what we call SDD, a scientific data guideline, and that will be provided by CMAT, who also lead the task. Okay, task 3.3, metadata service along the value chain. This will be led by CEA with 7 other partners supporting them in this task. And this is all about helping users find the most suitable metadata schema across the entire RISEnergy value chain. And we emphasize the word entire there because people need to broaden their definition of what the value chain and the innovation chain is here, from materials all the way down to the materials that we use in the various components that we develop. And that includes the wireless sensor components, not just the renewable energy components that we're developing, all the way from materials and then onto devices, and then also then into the overall integrated systems and the grid components. We also need to ensure that we facilitate the curation and submission of user-produced data, both experimental data and computational data, empirical data, through summarizing the use cases, identify and compile the existing metadata platform and repositories. We need to guide the research infrastructure users to the most appropriate metadata platforms for their particular applications through a database that's going to be searchable. One deliverable due from this task, the deliverable 3.2, this will come from CEA as task leader, and this deliverable relates to use cases and list of existing data platform and repositories. No milestones, no events, but again, no specific events. I'm sure a lot of us will be involved in a lot of either thematic or project related workshops, dissemination events that we have whereby we promote the value offer that we bring in this project. Okay, task 3.4, decision making for sustainability and socio-technical aspects. That's led by KIT with UCC, their lab and CMAT as the supporting partners. And this is all about providing a sustainability KPI overview of the various technologies we have in RISEnergy. For example, techno-economic and life cycle analysis based. So we need to show the potential environmental impact, things like global warming, health and so on, and also the techno-economic values, for example, the euros per kilowatt hour, the capex and the operational, the OpEx costs associated with these value propositions. And from these, we need to derive then the potential implications to provide top level recommendations for, how you should maybe select, mix and match and install these in a sustainable way from an economical, from an environmental, from a reliability perspective. And then we need to create and test with the stakeholders involved a decision-making tool and framework, which allows us to integrate various indicators for sustainability assessment, and from these then derive recommendations and also benchmark these new technologies against existing ones. And also then part of our activities there will be to do a workshop and a survey with wider stakeholder groups. Again, many of these activities will come later in the project. So again, no major deliverables, milestones or events during year one, but this will be behind the scenes. These 4 tasks will be prevalent across many of the activities in the project, particularly the TAs and the VA office. Okay, hope you like all the colors here. Just try to make it easier for people to understand what milestones and deliverables are due. So in green we have the partners. In orange there we have the type of reports. As you can see, as we heard from Anna this morning, all the reports are public. And then we've marked when the milestones are due in blue, when the milestones are due later in the project, and in red, simply these are the two deliverables that are due during the first 12 months. So just a quick 1-slide summary of who's doing what and by when. Okay, in terms of milestones, we are involved in 2, or we're leading 2 milestones. So milestone 6, which is the digital framework and metadata central service available, which is due in month 18, and then milestone 7, which is basic functions for decision support tools tested, which is due in month 24. Okay, how does work package 3 link with other work packages? As you can see, we believe the activities here are going to be very important for us to support the TA and the VA activities. We're going to be particularly focusing, and we talked about this at length yesterday, making sure that we try and foster and bring in as many cross-cutting TA activities as possible. So we're going to be promoting and exemplifying through various examples the synergies between renewable energy systems and ICT disciplines. You can see why UCC is leading this task. I think ICT is particularly prevalent, so I think that is the low-hanging fruit for many opportunities to bring ICT and renewable energy technologies together. And we can do this via feasibility studies, simulation models, creation of data sets to give people the tools and the instruments to help them understand how these technologies can be adopted and integrated through the entire life cycle. So for example, we do plan to demonstrate the value add of retrofitting, either on a temporary basis or a permanent basis, wireless sensor modules on in or near equipment. So with this, we can monitor and optimize the performance at a device level and a system level. So then that enhances the performance. We can also then maybe during the operation of these devices detect anomalies at the development stage, installation stage, and operation stage. So maybe just to give you a practical example. So let's say, for example, somebody is developing, let's say, a wind turbine. There's an opportunity for us to retrofit wireless sensors and maybe look at the acoustic signature of the blades as they're rotating. And then with that data, we can determine the correlation between the performance of that and the signature we get. We can detect anomalies if there is some shear or strain or something in that. We should be able to detect that via a change in the signature of the wind turbine. We'll see how it behaves, under different weather conditions. We can see how maybe in a wind farm, how adjacent wind turbines are behaving in relation to each other. It can also help us maybe with things like predictive maintenance. Instead of sequentially going from wind turbine to wind turbine, it can help us figure out which wind turbines are showing some degree of stress or strain or are not performing in accordance to expectations based on adjacent wind turbines or in accordance to previous data. And that same story could be applied to PV panels, battery storage systems, and so on. So I'm not the expert in this area. I'm the ICT expert, but I'm hoping on a project like this that we can try and figure out how we can take this ICT value proposition and give people the ability to capture sensory data and understand how we can help you optimize your design at the early development stage, and then maybe optimize the performance and assure the reliability and lower the maintenance costs associated with this renewable energy system. Okay, finally, the material and the outputs used in Work Package 4 and Work Package 5 for informing, educating, disseminating, building an extended ecosystem will help us create an ecosystem of multidisciplinary and cross-disciplinary collaborators, cross-connecting us all and creating synergies between ICT and renewable energy system disciplines. Okay, not going to go into too much detail here regarding the Gantt. I've just shown you here what are the main tasks, the main deliverables here. We've already talked about the milestones that are due. So you can see there deliverable 3.1, 3.2 are due 1 to 12. Most of the other ones are scattered towards the middle or towards the end of the project. And that's it, just in time for coffee. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
and I saw immediately one comment or question from Kai.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for presenting. I mean, it's a technical works package, so we're going to have some technical discussions. But I'm just, that's sort of coffee break. But you presented one way of the interaction of this work package with the whole consortium, and that is coming up with TAs, like to spark the interactions. And so that's kind of project internal, but using the resources, and that's really cool. But I think also one idea is, and I would like to have that a bit more understood from how do we gonna do this? We want to offer ways of documenting data from the TAs. In the RI projects I've been participating in, there was a report and that's it. So the idea that there is going to be some kind of central database is here floating somewhere in the air, but I don't see it happening out from how it's defined at the moment. So I'm just wondering, like, how concrete, how are we going to do the interaction between the whole work package 2 and work package 3 kind of ideas? Is it going to be written into the contract that they have to deliver the data, or what's the idea? And I'm sure that's maybe not completely sorted yet, but maybe there are some thoughts on that. Because in the end, if it's just a report, then there's also not going to be the data. That's obvious from the practical perspective, because who's going to put in the effort? But if it's forced, maybe there's no TA. So I think there's a trade-off here, and then it would be very interesting to just like poke this a little bit. And yeah.
Yeah,
So if you have an idea, that's
I'll
great.
start, I'll make a comment and then
Yeah.
we'll open it to the floor. So I think you make an excellent point here. Yeah, I guess, you know, looking at the leadership of this task, short term, you know, a big part of the objective is to foster collaboration across multiple disciplines. We heard Pedro talk about this yesterday. This is one of the main objectives of the process, to deliver impact from bringing various technologies together and finding a way for them to collaborate. And of course, the immediate way of doing that is by trying to, I suppose, create fuel for us to promote interest and activate the TAs, where we can actually talk about the value proposition I talked about there. And I use the word exemplify, you know, show real tangible examples of the value proposition there of doing that. But we should not stop there, because the problem then is that these TA studies are done. Of course, most of these TA studies will go into maybe feasibility studies or commercialization activities or follow-on projects. But we need to stand back, and I think we have a care of duty for us to maybe make sure that, for example, if we're creating data sets, that these are openly available to the public and there for them to leverage from that. So we do need to make sure that we have methodologies and we have best practices that we've pulled from other research infrastructures to make sure that, you know, all of the simulation tools, all of the datas, the ontologies that we create, the metadata schemes that we so on, that what we're learning from here is made available for people, and people can leverage from that well beyond the lifetime of this project.
So if I put it into other words, it could be a call topic for the first call to provide such data sets to just like spark that to the, yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's a good idea. And I talked about this yesterday. I think that one thing that we need to think about is we need to think it's one thing for us to sell the TAs and get people to come in and apply and avail of our research infrastructures. But in advance of that, we need to think about, okay, what's going to happen with the outputs of these? Are these going to fuel future projects? Is it going to foster collaborations? Is it going to foster commercialization? Is it going to create open repositories of data sets? Is it going to create tools that are available for people to use to do their own feasibility studies beyond the research infrastructures? So I think that would be a good idea for us to do when we go to promote the opening of the TAs, that you know, cite that as an example, that we may, from some of these TA studies, create a data set or outputs from a simulation tool or a metadata scheme that will be available not just for one specific activity, but is available for multiple people to leverage. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just one dimension here. So any other comments from anybody?
A short comment here. I mean, I think it's important, and the time today is not sufficient. We should make an online meeting soon and discuss this.
I think it's also important, and from the proposal phase, I got the impression that this is actually also part of the first year's activity to define which data are really relevant to collect. And if we may not probably be able to collect the data from the first TNA, but we should definitely include somehow in the contracts or in the agreements that they are obliged to deliver certain data to the project.
Yep. We're not starting from scratch here. For example, I previously coordinated the Enables research infrastructure, and in that project, we put together a series of best practices, not just for transnational access, but also the outputs. So we came up with templates. So if somebody is trying to characterize a particular component, we'd like them to follow a certain template, so that if that data is done in that format, it's in a way that's usable for people. It also enables us to do direct comparison of various components, so we can do what we call a direct apples versus apples comparison of parts, that we're capturing the data that people might need. So if they want to characterize a component and they want to do a system level assessment, whether it's a metrology or a simulation, that the key data has been thought about and has been captured during the characterization, whether it's the metrology or the simulation tool of that particular component. So driving interoperability from the outputs of these so that everybody is measuring things in the same way and is creating it in a format that's compatible for other people to use.
And also for AI systems.
Yes.
The new dimension AI. Yeah. Kurosh, you also want to comment?
Yeah, very quick on KAIS. I think one of the things that are missing, I mean, from a data management point of view, the research infrastructures can determine sample data. So we have estimation of the type of data, variations, and and the formats, and we just need sample data as being part of the description of those infrastructure. I think that's a very simple thing to do, and it helps to build these things way upfront before we get to actual operation of those. And I think this is, what it's aligned with what Kai was discussing.
Okay, any other comments to Mike? Yeah, Brian.
Well, at the risk of especially, late in the break here, this may not be something we discuss now, but I just want to make sure at least to table it and you can tell me the appropriate time. But being that, if I paraphrase, our general objective is to be an energy best practices project, if you will. It seems like you have all the hooks here, whether it's the, metadata, digital twin, or whatever other methods of capturing KPIs, that one of those metrics or dimensions should be the energy footprint itself of the activity. I mean, I understand, it may be involved characterizing, this or that, the project or activity itself. But I'm saying one thing that I see lacking a lot in the industry, right, is when you ask about the embodied energy footprint, what did it take to produce X, or even to characterize an R&D phase? That's lacking. It seems like there's a perfect opportunity here, and you have all the hooks and everything to just as long as you make a conscious effort to actually capture, as we go through the project, one of these outputs, to be able to tell people, this is what your footprint will actually look like when you want to go through these activities and whatnot. And so that, I guess that'd be I don't know if you call it a challenge or point of discussion or whatever. Like I said, we don't have to talk about it now, but I just like to know that it's captured at some point for discussion. Does that even make sense?
I would see this as a part of the 3.4 task somehow included in that. It's a good comment.
So KIT, are you listening?
Yeah, that's the sustainability assessment afterwards and whatnot, right? But it can't be an afterthought, right?
Yeah, I made that point here. Whilst a lot of these activities, there's not too many milestones or deliverables in the first 12 months. It's important that we start thinking about these things and promote them and have the framework throughout the life cycle of the project.
Okay, if there are no other questions to Mike, then thanks again.
Okay. Okay.
And if you have seen carefully on the agenda, there's a slot, so we can afford a coffee break until I would say 20 past 11. And we come back here 20 past. So everyone is back, it seems, at least the door is closed. Then we continue with the work package 4, the proactive innovation management. And that will be presented by Venizelos.
Okay. I hope you enjoy your coffee. We have, and we are starting a very important project, and I'm sure that the word innovation brings, we have heard it many, many times these days, and we will try within Work Package 4 to get everything in control of how we can really be innovative. And as already indicated yesterday by Holger, innovation pathways can expedite the evolution process dramatically. And so this issue, we take it very important in this Work Package 4. And we would like to, how do we move forward? Okay. Okay. Okay, so as you see from the objectives of this project, of this work package, the process of de-risking everything that we do and is of critical importance, but also engaging the various experts, stakeholders, is something that brings importance to the project. And identifying synergies is also of critical importance. And further opportunities of how we can enhance the process is something that we will take seriously into consideration when we move forward in the various activities of the project. And liaise with the industry, the policymakers, is something that also adds value to our work. And we would like to capitalize on training and offering options to cross-fertilize the process of this innovation process of all the technologies we are addressing through this project. And we have built up the structure of this work package in a way that will address all these issues. We will hear from Elizabeth a bit later on the content of these tasks and what we aim through that. And we have put a timeline here that is following closely the process of the project. And we have quite a lot of deliverables in this work package. We have really 11 deliverables, and we are addressing also a number of milestones that are of critical importance. And definitely we will start from day one of this project. We already passed day one, but today we are kicking off. And next week and the following week, I'm sure with the discussions within the work packages, we will try to bring together all the thoughts, all the thinking, and understand where we are and how we can build the innovation process. This is critical importance to us to understand what is will be attempted through the various work packages and how we interlink the various packages into this, in delivering what we promise, in addressing all the milestones we have indicated, but most importantly, how each work package is linking to each other and how we can contribute to the process of building this energy ecosystem that we have promised through the project. And of course, how we can contribute through this to the international and virtual environment access area that we are giving throughout Europe in order to facilitate this evolution of technologies and do it innovatively, because we know through innovation, we can be much faster where we want to be. And so that is why the Work Package 4 will try to be in close collaboration with Work Package 3 and trying to give and learn from Work Package 2 what is happening out in Europe through the test facilities, through the infrastructure out there, testing technologies and evolving technologies forward. So, all in all, I think we need to learn from each other. We need to work together to build this process together. And we promise that through Work Package 4, we will try to make this innovative. So I think we can move on a bit with the tasks and learn a bit more details of what we plan through that.
Hello, so I'm Elizabeth Xenophonte from EPL Cyprus. I will be analyzing tasks in a bit more detail, not a lot. So the task leader of task point 1, which is innovation management, is UCC. And we have us, KIT and AIT as main participants. So this task concerns, of course, management and offers a practice service that's to ensure that the innovative technology and ideas from the different sources that are provided are commercialized through consultation engagement with all the stakeholders in the energy sectors and experts within the project. The main outcomes begin with an entry form that the developers want to engage with us, and so they want to apply what they want to receive through this web form email at the beginning, and then this will be passed on to relevant experts within the consortium for more detailed technical assessment. Okay, of course, this application will take different routes depending on the request of each applicant. But after the successful application, then the engagement with the RISEnergy project will commence. Our role is not only to commence the engagement, but it's also to continue through the development and until the successful completion of each of the projects, let's say. So this is overall for task 4.1. For 4.2, we talk about innovation acceleration. Again, the task is UCC and the same participants. So this task's main objective is to identify how the RIs and the different experts can provide a better service to the innovators and accelerate the technology development process, so to increase it to make it more efficient time-wise. Okay, so the main outcomes are detailed technical review of technical assistance, access reports to understand what was achieved and how these benefits can be maximized. And the Innovation Management Secretariat will assign relevant experts for the tracking process. And this is to identify further opportunities through this technical assessment and making it more efficient by the end. So the third task is innovation support from and for industry and policy stakeholders. The leader for this task is ENEA, and the main participants are the 5 partners, as shown above. This task main objective is to contact stakeholders which are not involved in the technological aspect of process, but are other stakeholders such as certification authorities, financial organizations, government agencies, regulatory and standardization organizations, and more. So we need to select which stakeholders need to be involved and identify the main barriers and possible solutions so we can overcome the main issues. Within this task, a strategy and any related mechanisms
for reaching these potential stakeholders will be created. And this strategy may contain specific meetings, targeted thematic workshops, roundtables, and then there may be possible interviews to involve them in the process for decision making. Of course, last but not least, data collection analysis will be focused on the selection of the collected information. And so we can have a better qualitative and quantitative analysis techniques to change information in user data aiming during the course of the project and make a better outcome from them. Last is task 4.4, which concerns training on cross research infrastructure services and innovation support. The task leader is DTU and 5 other participants. The point of this task is to organize and facilitate the creation of the training materials and activities. So it's basically to create different training materials and support the ecosystem of RISEnergy and complementing it so we can support these innovation activities. The main objective is to create seminars, panels, workshops, so we can promote the RISEnergy across our RISE services. Also within webinars and recorded talks, training materials, and other ways we can see we can decide during the project as the project progresses. Also, an objective is to develop or use or design a portal for identifying and linking it, if we can, to also other portals that already exist, which are mentioned here, like EdiGrid, EdiAsset, and any other materials we can use for this specific project. And also, we can deliver technical content or aspects of cross-array technology services, such as code samples, notebooks, instructions, and presentations that can deliver the delivered specific results for the tasks that we have listed previously. And lastly, this task aims to facilitate the innovation support activities through training material that is targeted at both innovation development and technical implementation of Access projects. So this is for work package 4, and thank you all for listening to us.
Yeah, thank you both. Any question to this work package? I think we got a clear idea how this is supporting actually the outreach and what we do with the information gathered in work package 2 and 3. Any comments?
Just one question. After we released our press release in German first, we got some questions from German industry, and they asked us, okay, how I can find the researchers that could support me a little bit. Do you work like this? Will I get support from research if I have some questions? Is it that what you are doing? Can I just forward the question, the request directly to you?
Yeah, I think this is a part of the process, I think. We have gathered together experts around this table and around us and through us in order to be able to really be in a position to respond to such questions of how we can build this innovation process. Let's hope that we will be successful in doing that, and let's start it. Yeah, okay. Please do.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, Kai?
Not to explode, but the topics, but I see a connection to the websites. Like there's work package 2 has a connection to website, and this one also has probably a strong one. Talk about task 3.2 or talks about a portal. So who's the partner being responsible for the website?
The website is their lab. It's a dissemination part in the management work package.
But not participating in these tasks.
No.
If I may, yeah.
They will disseminate the material coming out here.
I will show you now. This is task 5.3, dissemination, outreach and engagement. On the ERA is leading the task, but also the ERA will be there. I will show you right now.
I think one tangible outcome here of this work packages is Innovation Management Secretariat, which is a very concrete body which we have to establish. And that will also then receive these questions from industry and so on, promote this. And that will be part of the webpage, of course, to be disseminated, both in the infrastructure part catalog and also in the normal website.
Okay.
Other questions? Then thank you, Elizabeth and Venizelos. We move on to the administration work package coordinated by Miriam.
So, good morning, everyone, again. We are coming to the end of the meeting. The last work package today. I hope you can still listen to me a little bit. And yeah, I will show you what we have planned. Of course, this work package is dealing with the management of the all project activities, monitor of the quality, of course, administrative and financial management. But also we will deal with communication activities, dissemination. This is within this work package, different in other projects where we have a work package dedicated to that part. This is included here in this work package. And also we would like to engage stakeholders on maintain the communication. You can see here all the core activities and tasks that we have planned. Of course, coordination of the technical activities, technical deliverables, report, of course, overall legal, contractual, ethical, financial, and administrative management, communication with the European Commission. So the project coordinator will be the representative that will talk directly to the Commission. Of course, establishing and maintaining conflict resolution. We will try to help you if you have any problem there, dissemination, engagement of stakeholders, and so on. This work package is structured in 4 different tasks that I will show you now in more detail, but you can see here all the tasks will last during the whole project life from the first month until the end, month 54. Of course, this work package is interconnected to all work packages in the project. I don't need to explain a lot about that because we are interconnected with all of them, and we will be maintaining the communication with all work packages. Here you can see the Gantt for the whole project. We have planned 5 different general assemblies, 1 per year. So we are in the beginning. You can see 2 milestones. The first one is the kickoff meeting. We have already achieved that one. We will have another milestone here in month 6, and this is about the web page. So we hope to establish the web page and also the research infrastructure platform in month 6. We have 9 deliverables, most of them at the beginning of the project, because this will deal with the management, data plan, and this need to be clarified from the beginning. What else? You can see here the reporting periods. We will have 3 reporting periods, as was mentioned by Anna before. And this will be month 18, month 36, and at the end of the project. After this time has finalized, we will have 2 months to deliver all the technical and financial reports. And if needed, we will have a review meeting with the Commission, but you can see here the timeline. Regarding the task, let's have a look in the activities that are coming for the first year. The first task is dealing with internal project management and coordination. KIT is the leader, but also we have main participants from ERA, Exceleric, DERLab, and EU Solaris. Of course, all of you, all partners are involved in this task. And here you can see what is meant to be. We will deal with the technical coordination, but also scientific quality assurance of the result. For this, we will develop a project management and quality assurance plan. This will be made in month 3. and also a data management plan, as well as a risk assessment and monitoring plan. The main outcomes during this first year will be, of course, the kickoff meeting. We already did the months before. As you can imagine, it takes a lot of organization before that. But also we will try to implement the feedback from advisory board. So you have seen all these pictures. We have an advisory board composed of 10 members. Some of them are here in person, others are online, and they will give us feedback to implement our activities. And we will try to put that to strengthen our project. So deliverables, you can see 3 deliverables coming soon: project management and quality assurance plans, data management plan, and first risk assessment plan. We have not planned to workshops so far for the first year. And here again, you can see the timeline during the first year. I have mentioned before, we are on track. We expect to deliver everything in time, and we know already how to do so. The second task is dealing with the monitoring, mainly with the monitoring of the activities. And in this case, KIT is the leader, but all participants, all members of the consortium are involved as well. And in this case, we will try to monitor the process, to keep track of the activities, avoid delays, but also assurance the quality of the deliverables. And for this, we will talk later more about that. We have already prepared a review process that we would like to show you in the end of the day, and that you can agree on or not. So we have already planned that so that we can start delivering the deliverables. We don't have deliverables or milestones the first year, but I would like to show you here. This is a very large project with many partners, many infrastructures. So according to our experience, it's very important that we keep a good communication. And for this, we would like to start at least during the first year organizing your fixes every 2 weeks. Because from our experience with stories, this is very important. So we can see later if we need every 2 weeks or we can just postpone every month. But in the beginning, we would like to start because we know that we have a lot of things to discuss and to establish in the beginning. So it's very important. So task 3 is led by Eran. And as I mentioned before, is dealing with dissemination, exploitation, outreach, and engagement plan. So a lot of activities here. KIT and their lab have also a main role here. Here you can see the description. Facilitate and maintain a strong and effective involvement of stakeholders. So engagement is very important, but also dissemination and communication of the activities. Therefore, during the first year, the main outcomes will be the creation and implementation of the identification of the project, identify, development, dissemination and outreach channels and plan. We will set up a research infrastructure platform on the web page so that the user can easily find the research infrastructures that they need to perform the experiments. We will also develop a stakeholder map and an engagement plan. This is very important. We have also here the main deliverables in the beginning of the project because we need to plan at the beginning in order to be able to implement the activities. Here you can see the timeline. So month 6 for the website, I have already mentioned, and in month 9, outreach and engagement plan. Okay, last but not least, also important, ethics management. We don't have a deliverable in this task because we have already, during the proposal phase, we already identified the main points that we need to deal with. And these are personal data, non-EU countries, environment, health and safety, and of course, artificial intelligence. And we will have a look on these points, and we will ask you also, we will keep an eye on that, and we will come to you and ask you if you have any issues regarding these points. And this is not a deliverable, but we agreed to write a report in the end of the project, gathering all the information regarding to the ethical issues. And I think this is my last slide. I hope it was okay, it was not too long, and you can still listen to us.
Any question?
Seems not. So now you know what you can expect from our side as emails approaching you on the various aspects. If there are no questions, then we proceed to the administrative and financial